It's always a good time. We're having a good time.
All right, Sticks and Hacks, welcome to day 2 of the USAM Tour City Championship for the Dallas area. If you didn't watch the last 2 episodes, I am +7 going into the second round. I'm in 5th place in this tournament with some work to do to get back into contention. That brings us to the first hole of the new course at the White Bluff Resort, a narrow, long par 4, where you got to pipe one down the middle. And little Nervy did not hit that particularly well into the wind on the toe, but in the fairway. So I will take that. Does leave a longish shot into the green, 173 yards straight into the fan. So I am trying to hit a hard 6-iron to catch a piece of this green. And hit that pretty well, did get it up into the wind, so it was just enough to clear that bunker and catch a piece of the green, but first hole and I'm putting. I'll take that every single time. Longish putt from 33 feet, really just trying to lag this, get an easy par on that first hole and build some momentum going into the rest of the round. See how many spots I can climb on that last day. Anytime you're in these tournaments, right, 7 shots feels like a long way back, but the nerves and anxiety of the leaders might lead them to coming back a little bit, so stay patient, throw up a good round, and you never know what could happen. It's a good lag putt, just a tap in, and an easy par on the first hole. Take that every time. The second hole on the new course is a dogleg right. It is a shorter hole, but you really can't hit a long club in, so just hitting a 4-iron off the tee. Just get something down there in the meat of the fairway, and this is really a second shot hole. Using the Par Golf app, you can see just how narrow that fairway is, and trying to cut that corner just brings quite a bit of trouble into play. Just not worth the risk at this point in the round. And again, didn't hit that great. Hit it on the toe, a little uncommitted, but it's out there. I could have hit it about 30 yards further with that 4-iron, but beggars can't be choosers. That leaves 165 yards. I do have quite a bit of wind behind me, so I'm trying to hit an 8-iron and just get it over that bunker. The challenge when you're hitting downwind with a wind that strong is sometimes if you don't get the ball up, it actually gets knocked down by the wind. And that's what happened here. I missed covering this bunker by just about 1.5 feet, which meant I hit in the face of the bunker and kind of rolled back. Left my ball in the upslope, tough little bunker shot, downwind without much green behind the pin. And you didn't really see it come out because I barely got it over the lip. I got it on the apron, which means I can put a putter in my hand, but now I'm lag putting and just trying to ensure that I don't make worse than bogey. Wasn't a very good bunker shot. And that one got well away from me. Not what you want on the second hole. I went from being in a pretty good spot in the fairway to now having a little more than 10 feet for bogey. Certainly can't afford to miss this one if I want to stay in this tournament. And that's huge. Catches the right edge. It's hard to say that you're building momentum with a bogey, but that's a good putt. You can't afford doubles. I can afford bogeys. I can make some of those back later in the round. That brings us to the third hole, a par 3, playing a little over 190 yards. So I've got a 5-iron here. Winds mostly from left to right, which I don't mind. It's going to fight my draw. So aiming just a little bit right of the pin and get something on the green. Yeah. And that one carried quite a bit, but this really isn't a scoring hole, par 3 of that distance. You're just trying to make par and move on to the next one where you'll have a better opportunity. So 48 feet for my birdie. Try to lag this one up there and make an easy par. It's coming down the hill, looking like a pretty good line. And good pace, good putt. That's an easy tap in. Did my job there to make the easy par. As I'll tap this in, and not a bad start. It's windy. This is a tougher day than the day before. So I know that there's an opportunity for people to make some big numbers. Just got to stay patient and keep doing my job. And pars are a good way to do that. That takes us to the fourth hole. This is a shorter par 4. And I debated hitting driver or hitting something different here, but not really a need to. If I just pipe it out in the fairway there at the dog leg, I'll have just a wedge into the hole. So trying to aim well outside of that bunker, and if it draws, it draws.
Parked in the background. I didn't know where they were.
And you'll see me back off the ball a couple times in this tournament. Anytime you're not confident or you get distracted, I highly suggest you back off and get back in tune with it. You'll actually help pace of play by hitting better shots if you're focused on what you're doing. So that's what I did. Refocused, aim at the right edge of the fairway. But then still caught it on the toe. Not my best swing there. The good news is it's inbounds, and I made the hole a little bit shorter, inadvertently. So now I've got 100 yards. It is straight into the wind here to get back to that hole, so I'm hitting a 48. That's plenty of club. Get something on the green, and let's have a birdie putt. So despite the poor tee shot, had a good angle, just a wedge in my hand, not too difficult. Knock that on the green and let myself 24 feet for a birdie. So not as close as I would have liked out of the rough. It's a little harder to control your distance. That's why I wanted to be in the fairway, but 24 feet nonetheless is a good opportunity. If it goes in, it goes in. Just make it an easy 4. And that one was a little low and right and never really had enough pace. But it is a tap-in 4. With my playing partner here, I do want to be conscious of their line, and it never hurts to mark your ball and wait your turn in a tournament. Too many times I've tried to straddle somebody's line or be cute and made a mistake. Especially as tournaments tend to play slower anyway. Nobody's going to give you the putt. Let's make sure you make it, which I do. That's a par on the 4th. And I am 1 over through 4 on this second day, which takes us to the first par 5 of the day. Again, on both these courses at White Bluff, the fairways are not super wide. The fairway's only about 30 yards wide at its widest. So with the Par Golf app, I have a dispersion of about 60 yards. You can see that it's going to overlap with the rough. So picking a good target is critical. Picking a club you're confident with, and then swing away. And that was a good strike, but it did kind of cut through the wind, and I found myself underneath this tree in the rough. Not a bad spot. I've got a swing, and you can see that I'm really only 3 yards off the fairway, so pretty good drive, but there's just enough tree for me to think about it standing over the ball. I've got a 4-iron in my hand, and for 240 yards, I'm really expecting this ball to come out of the rough kind of hot and dead and bounce up there. Just trying to roll something up towards the front edge of the green. But to do that, I do have to get this ball started in the fairway. If I get it started too far left, it'll fall into the rough and I won't get that bounce that I need. So trying to take it out almost a little bit right of the pin. Bound it up there. And that one definitely came out dead, but I did hit it a little further left than I wanted, and it doesn't quite make it all the way up to the green. Still, I've left myself, near the fairway in a good spot, just 47 yards away, and today I have my sand wedge. I'm not using that Mac Daddy from the last couple of rounds, so got a pretty good idea what this club will do. And that did fly a little bit further than I expected, but now we've got a more makeable birdie putt, just 12 feet. See if we can get this thing back to even. Boom. First birdie of the day. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. That moves me back to even for the second day. And at this point, even par through 5 holes, I know I'm moving in the right direction on that leaderboard. Just stay patient and keep scoring, and I'm going to like where I end up at the end of the day. The sixth hole was a par 3. It was playing 170 yards, but it's dead into a pretty big wind. So I've got a 4-iron in my hand, which feels like a ton of club. And right before I swung, the wind kind of laid down. I was worried I had too much, and I kind of bailed on it. Just didn't smoke it. I was worried about going over the green. I didn't make the worst mistake, which would have been leaving it in the water, but I've left myself a long, tough bunker shot.
Oh, wow. Great shot. Great shot, Sevy.
Great shot.
Isn't that what Sevy said? The only way I'm going to stop this is hit the flag.
And as you just heard, I airmailed that, but hit the flag and dropped it just 3 feet from the hole. So got a little lucky with that bunker shot, but hey, you need a little luck on your side if you're going to play good golf. Leaves me 4 feet, need to convert, need the par here.
Great mark.
Thank you. Little assist from the flag, ain't gonna lie.
And that was big. That brings us to the 7th hole, which is a dogleg left par 5. There is out of bounds to the right and to the left, but it's a pretty wide fairway. Having never played this course and with the right to left wind, I'm aiming at the right edge of the fairway and looking for a draw. And I hit that hard, but I did not get the draw. I did not cover it, and that bounced over a big downhill into out of bounds. That was about a foot out of bounds, but all it takes is an inch, and I've got a re-tee. So unfortunate with the momentum I've been building to hit that one out of bounds. I adjusted my line here by just about 10 yards to the left. I just need to execute better. I needed to hit the draw. I liked the line that I had picked. And I do a much better job there. That ball actually draws, gets back in the fairway, and goes almost 300 yards. So if you hit that shot first, you're gonna be pretty happy. The downside is I am a foot into the rough. From 173 yards, I'm hitting an 8-iron and trying to make a second ball birdie, which is gonna end up being a bogey. And again, I was expecting some wind help. The wind was behind me, and 173 yards is a long way to hit an 8-iron. Just doesn't quite come out as hot as I expected, and I'm on the front of the green. Again, that 56 is in my hand, which is not the Mac Daddy from the last couple of rounds, so it should be a pretty elementary up and down. These bump and runs are one of my favorite types of shots. And that rolls out pretty good. Left myself a nice putt from below the hole for a second ball birdie, which would be a bogey after hitting it out of bounds. So just 4 feet, gotta convert these, gotta pay attention. I can afford the bogey. A double would hurt. And really rolling the putter well.
6 because of the OB.
And as much as I struggled to get up and down in the first 18 of this tournament, I'm doing a good job of scrambling this 18. Which takes us to the 8th hole, straightforward par 4. I really don't need to hit driver here, but if I scale back to a 3-wood, that bunker comes into play. If I hit the driver, you've got the water long and left. So just keep it to the right and you'll stay away from that water. And I flirted with it. I got the correct bounce to keep me out of the water, but I knocked it right under this tree. So I'm too close to the tree to go over. I didn't feel comfortable with going over. All it takes is one branch to throw it into the lake. So I'm going the low route. Just trying to bound it up, and if I get lucky, it'll bounce between those bunkers. Worst case, I'll knock it in the greenside bunker. I'm a pretty good bunker player, so while that was a recovery shot and didn't have a good chance hitting the green, I've left myself a pretty standard bunker shot. Again, with my trusty 56, just landed a little short, let it roll out to the pin. And that was well executed. After being stuck under the tree, that's all I could hope for was about a 4-footer for a par, and that's what I got. So stay vigilant, pay attention, get a good read, good speed, and you should make these 90% of the time. And that's exactly what I do to stay at +1. So again, the bogey on the par 5 was unfortunate, but I know that +1 through 8 holes is probably moving me up the leaderboard with as tough as it's playing today. It's super windy. The 9th hole is a short par 4. There's water up there, so I'm not hitting a driver. Since it is narrow, I prefer to hit the driving iron. I'm a little straighter with the driving iron. It's a little easier to control the start line, and it turns much less than the 3 would. So I'm hitting a 2-iron. And didn't get all of it, to be honest with you, but did get it short of the bunker in play.
Club slipped, yeah.
Which is really all I was looking for. And you hear that, the club slipped, that's probably why I didn't get all of it. The pin in this case is on the right-hand side of the green. That water looks menacing with as much wind as there is. It's just hard to gauge the distance. So I'm hitting a 7-iron from 165 yards. That's a lot of club with a tailwind. Safer than I should have been.
Chicken swing.
And I've hit it in the bunker a little more conservative than I would have liked to have been, but hey, I'm getting up and down from all over the place. Let's do it again. Go ahead and write down that 4. And got a lot of that one, which was gutsy going back towards the water. I certainly wasn't scared of it.
Don't be scared of it. Well, you know, I've hit the flag a couple times. I was actually aiming for the flag. Thought if I hit that, it'd knock it down. Yeah.
Still on YouTube about Sevi saying that. Flag.
So I've been getting up and down from everywhere, but I'm leaving myself a lot here from 15 feet. Need it to keep the momentum going into the back 9. Let's keep climbing that leaderboard.
There was a... You wonder why he's... Man, that's you're a scoring club. You got how many 1-touches that him?
It's a lot. That's
Easy 4.
a 37 on the front 9, climbing the leaderboard, getting myself back in position. Join me next time for the back 9. Let's see if I can climb to number 1 in this tournament. Don't forget to like and subscribe.